Hello everybody, this is Flavio, and today I will show you a little example about how am I making my gradients on the drawings that I make. So now, as you can see, I start in a area of the drawing with hatching that it's only one layer of parallel lines, but in the places where I want to enhance the darkness a little bit more, I make a cross hatching. I just change the angle of the parallel lines. And now if I want to make in this area a gray area, as you can see right here, I have a area in the drawing where everything is darker because it is in it's here, it's more depth, and where you have more depth you have more darkness, because light can go in those areas where there is depth. That's why the strongest dark is far from us, and the light areas are here at the surface. So look, now if I have there so much dark, I want to make a gray area right here. So I made those lines which are quite strong, and the black is quite strong. And now to be able to make some parallel lines that are softer, I just have to feel this pen and somehow to change the angle of the pen on the paper to be able to make these thin lines, you see. So with a lot of patience, I am keep adding more parallel lines. So you see this area where the difference between this gray and this gray, it's quite obvious. It's somehow not soft, it's not a gradient. So what do? I come here, and without touching very strong the paper, yeah, you have to feel what this pen can do. So you just have to start to draw and keep doing this, and you will be able to feel the intensity of the lines. You see, this surface is going under this one. This is what I'm deciding right now. Or it's actually everything you do, it's something that you decide. It's not, I could make this thing to appear on top of everything, but as the geography of these lines are telling me, I feel like the best place for this surface is to be under this one, you see. So if I imagine that this one has a volume like this and then going like that, then I know how to make the light on these two. Look, do you see? So I make this plane of the object darker, and I will leave this part lighter, and this way I will create a contrast between this area and that area, and I will emphasize this one as the light area. So these two blacks and the white in between is giving me the feeling of volume, you see. So guys, I just gave you a small example of how to treat and take decisions in drawing. As you can see here, I have an outline drawing, and now I'm going into the details and start to create all the volumes here. You see, by touching the paper in a very soft way, I'm able to create a very soft gray on this side of the object. Going here, I see that the geometry of this surface, it's going inside right there. That means for me it's already an obvious thing that this area will be a little bit darker than this one, because if I have a source of light somewhere here, it will hit my object in this area more than this one, because this one is curved and is going inside. So these kind of decisions you have to make for the entire drawing that you have. And right here I will have to make it a little bit darker to be able to create the contrast between these two. So everything it's about contrast. To be able to emphasize one thing, you have to use dark and light, and to alternate, I think this is the word. So you see what I'm doing here? I make a cross hatching to be able to yeah, you know what I mean. So this is the line of the nose, as you can see, and while this nose is on top of this area, I will decide to emphasize this nose and put it in front by making a shadow under him right here, you see. And now I will have to change the position of my hand a little bit. Yeah, it will be hard for me to make this shadow here. It's not a nice one, but usually I taped my drawing on the table now just to be able to have it in a fixed place, but usually I turn it in all the directions that I need to be able to be comfortable when I make these lines, you see, because it's hard to make in this position like this, to make 15 curved lines but looking parallel, you know what I mean. So I will do that. I will see what's happening here. So guys, do you see this outline drawing? This drawing, it's like almost accidental. I mean, I didn't plan too much these outlines that I have here. I just made the lines, and in the end I will be able to see volumes. You see, if I see this, angle of the plane and this one, then I will know that here I will have a volume. You see? And I have the other line that I will keep it, and that means my hatching is coming only until here. And do you see, another good thing is to observe that when I'm making the hatching, I follow the angle of the surface, and the angle of the surface is given by the exterior, but by the contour lines. You see, this one is like this one is like this, and this one is like this. When I will make the hatching here, I will start with some lines that will look parallel with this contour line, but from here to there I will gradually change the angle, you see? And then you can come also with the cross hatching, that is no problem, but you have to have this one also. And this is the way you are giving the feeling about creating hatching on an outline drawing. So guys, from this point, if you are keep doing what I'm just showing to you, or if you do what I just showed to you, and now you spend, let's say, 5 hours, and in the next days you will add another 5 hours, in the end I guarantee you that you will have a very, very good drawing. And I will give you an example of the final, but I showed you yesterday in the last module some examples of the final drawing. So you have to feel these surfaces with 3D objects as I created right here, you see? And when you will have them all made like this, you will feel that you need to make also some general light. You see, when we go into the detail and we study only one object like that, or this one like this, we are not keeping in mind the general light on this object. But this object, the entire object, just imagine it's like an egg, but these details are just particular volumes into a general object. So after you are creating all these particular objects that we have here, this one, that one, that one, that one, and you treat them whatever you like it, then you imagine a source of light that is coming from one side and is affecting the object in its entirety, I guess it's called. So then you will know that half of this object will be darker and half of this object will be lighter. That would mean that you will have to go back on each object and in the darker area to make the dark zones a little bit darker than the other dark zones from the lighter area. So I will talk to you about the general light in the next module. Now I want you to keep in mind that you have to be patient and treat every situation that you have from your outlines in this manner, and then you will be satisfied. And in the next module I will show you the next moves. So do the job, guys. It's the same thing when you use a pencil. So but of course these lines will not be so thin, but you can use graphite pencils, you can use watercolor pencils, you can use this fine liner. You will feel in the end that it's a very rich environment here after you make hours and hours of hatching like this. So you know that at the beginning of the course I was promising you that everybody can do it if applies this to these few steps that I showed you in the last 4 modules. Now I'm sure that by now you believe me that it is possible, but without these 5-10 hours added to the outline drawing with the hatching stuff, you will not get the best results. So this is what you have to do. So I hope you do it. See you in the next module, guys. I will show you more. Have a good week.